like it. I can't stand it. It's a trigger. I run. And we are on YouTube!
Which means...
Mega 170!
Wow! We're going to deep dark in the recesses of the bag and pull out!
Dun, dun,
Super
dun.
glazed! Or if that's the deal of it, I don't know.
Half-caked super glazed.
Oh, so well, I was close.
Well, yeah, you just didn't see the little part. It was a...
I saw
give it
that
more.
I saw that one had big letters on it, so at least I could somewhat tell what the hell it was.
More bedazzled. But the title of it is Slight Work. Which is what none of this
Slight
is.
work?
Really quick, national...
Isn't that what we all been doing lately? I mean, with the COVID and what the hell else you got to do?
Have you worked for yourself yet? It is nowhere near slight. Let me tell you, all the emotional baggage that comes along with you as well. Anyways, today's national days, really quick. I wanted to hit it. Is National Dress Your Pet Day. Go dress your pet.
That whole thing. I mean,
it's 2021. You ain't got nothing else to do.
Yeah. Well, people that go out and buy clothes for their pets. I mean, that's another one thing. I just do. I do not.
I'm sorry. What? I've only bought a couple outfits. It's adorable. Whatever. Tomorrow's National Hat Day, so make sure you go wear a hat. And National Bagel Day, so you eat a bagel in the morning.
Today. No. Which day is National Hat Day?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Mm-hmm. Well, maybe we got to bring back the cowboy hat.
We do. Where's our black ones?
Yes.
See? Aren't you glad I do a day ahead now?
Well, yeah, that's a good idea.
Because I didn't even know about Dress Your Pet Day.
Yeah,
I almost said
good. Thank God.
But if I would have known,
37 new
I would have dressed my pet. Okay.
Yeah, there'd have been 37 new pet outfits out there.
How cute. Cute. Again.
Well, I got the drum rolling just in time as I got my head. I'm sitting here, why am I not hearing the music again for the second day in a row? But that's the, we're on live at 5 as we come on every day on IE Newswire, Facebook, Twitch, and
on YouTube. But make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and share us all over your world, and head over to our Twitch and hit that purple follow button.
I want to, and while we're on this, and just before we get started on that, I want to get your guy, or, any of you that have any opinions, because I mean, we're going to cover a little bit later. The Parlor thinks they're done. I mean, they think
I saw that today.
They think they're done. I'm just waiting for the, because like we've been doing our videos on Twitch now and Facebook and YouTube. We've been kicked off of them at various times. Well, not Twitch because they're new. But I mean, you're talking Amazon, Google, and Facebook controlling these things.
And Twitch does own, or Amazon does own Twitch. That's
what I mean. I mean, I'm thinking of we really need to concentrate on doing our own thing on the video or getting more control over it where you and Control own the content. If you have any suggestions, know what you think of that, because I think, in the coming 6 days, it's going to be a much more, there's going to be a lot more shutdowns of this, that, and the other of what's going on that. I mean, Parlor, what was it up to? Like 10, 12 million people or something, and then all of a sudden just poof, one day you're gone.
I know. I guess I should delete my app, huh?
So, what do you think of, if you got any suggestions on doing it like on a website or like on, I think it's like Vimeo or Livestream, you actually own the content of that, putting it on. Any suggestions on that? Because I've just, I'm just waiting for the day when we come on here. And I mean, we've done that. And I mean, like, you're no longer on the air of that. Like we were on YouTube, we were off for a week or something. And with no explanation on why. Just all of a sudden they just decide arbitrarily that they don't like something and don't even tell you what it is. Well, even if you did do something wrong, how are you supposed to correct it if you don't know it's wrong? I mean, explain that one to me.
Just don't talk.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people would like that, especially in my case, but that's probably a subject for a different day.
Neon Love Machine writes in on YouTube that Parlor is coming back, he thinks.
I don't know. We got a story coming up with the Parlor, the dude that started it, and he's not as optimistic as Neon Love Machine, but we'll see how that all works out in the aggregate of going on. Love this. Chili Bowl started on Monday. Well, we had the Tulsa Shootout, which is actually the 600's a motorcycle engine. It's in the biggest Tulsa Expo Center, the biggest clear span building in the world on that. They turned it into a dirt track for about 45 days. Right at the first of the year, they have the Tulsa Shootout, which is all the 600 divisions. About 1,200 cars show up for that. And then now this week, they take a week off, and then they have the Chili Bowl Nationals, which is a midgets, and over 300 midgets probably show up there. They started Monday qualifying. They still have qualifiers. They set 2 guys in each night from Monday to Friday. So 10 guys are locked into the A main, and then you have the B mains all the way down. Well, it might start with the O main event on Saturday and work all its way up. This is probably the biggest midget race in the world going on, but it's going on right now. One of the neat things I thought of that happened today in I think it was the third qualifier going on the Chili Bowl Nationals. Daniel Robertson, Sammy Swindell, and Jake Swanson. As you can, give me number 4 in the picture, because I want to get to Jake Swanson. The Valvoline car. Hit number 6 on the on the old blower on there, so we get the picture up, so people can actually see what we're talking about. Jake Swanson is driving for Alex Bowman, the NASCAR star, which we had on the show and interviewed before. And obviously maybe not obviously, but you've heard Jake Swanson several times. He was a California boy that moved back said to hell with good old CA last year over all the COVID crap, and he actually wanted to race, so he moved back to Indiana. He's driving the Valvoline car as Jake. In this picture, in the video you're seeing right now, that's just still screen, we're going to play it in a second. Sammy Swindell, I think he's won 5 Chili Bowl Nationals. His son won about 3 or 4 before he got paralyzed in a racing accident. Daniel Robinson is the car sitting there in the middle. This is the last lap of the qualifier. You see 1 lap to go up there. And Sammy Swindell is probably one of the top 5 midget and sprint car drivers of all time. It's got to be about 65 years old, still running strong. But he's a whiny little blank. People either love him or hate him. So Daniel Robinson is the middle car here. Sammy's up front. Here's the last lap coming through on Flow Racing as it went off. Here you go.
Make sure this is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Because look out, contact with Sammy Swindell. It's going to go to Parker Price Miller. 2nd at the line is Daniel Robinson.
And 3rd is Swanson Swindell, the 4th.
Guys, did you see Robinson middle finger out the whole window out the right side off turns 3 and 4 to Sammy Swindell? We got to get a replay of that finish.
Yes,
his hand was 4 feet out of the cage.
My goodness, Daniel Robinson continues to impress, and Jake Swanson with a great recovery, but Sammy back to 4th. Not going to be happy with that run.
Good run there for Parker.
Here we go.
Did everything he needed to do. Got out front and set sail. That's huge.
4-1.
So I think we do have the
Yes,
replay
here comes the replay
Robinson
in slow-mo.
showing the old number 1 to Sammy Swindell. As you can
There he
see,
is.
Robinson
Here
on
you
the
see.
bottom sticks his hand out the right side. You're number 1.
Oh, that's fantastic. Nice camera work, guys.
Yeah.
Well, and then Swanson gets him down low, too. I mean, that was a disaster of a last lap for the 1 car.
There was contact getting into 3. Robinson kind of turned.
So you seen we brought you the story, what was it the other day, of Hallie Deegan, a Temecula native of that, who's racing NASCAR in the truck series or something, was racing the I game and used the word retard, and NASCAR sending her to sensitivity training and stuff. This is why, at least at the Chili Bowl and some of that, but you can middle finger a guy out on the racetrack and nothing happens to you. This has went on since time immemorial. I mean, there's the one at, I think it's Syracuse or something, a Champ Dirt Car race. There's two guys, the mechanics that they're in that. I couldn't find that one, but I found this one of Sleepy Trip. In the top 5 of midget drivers of all time. This is in the 70s. Sleepy's from out here, too. Southern California native. One of the all-time great midget racers. There you can see he's middle finger. This is hot laps or something. He's middle fingering the photographer as he's sliding sideways at 100 miles an hour on the throttle in the middle of the corner of that. And as Daniel Robinson said, he said, I mean, I don't know what his intention was, if he was mad or something, but when he came back in, or they interviewed him afterwards, he says, I've never passed Sammy Swindell in my whole life, so I just was excited, so I just gave him the middle finger coming out the window. And that's the way it should be. I mean, can we have a little fun? Are we going to take the fun out of every freaking thing?
Well, it looks like they are.
Well, at least at the Chili Bowl Nationals in 2021, at least you can be yourself and have a good time, and people aren't jumping down your throat about it.
I know, you're making it a negative, though. Let's be happy about it.
I am.
I know, but you're putting a negative tone on it.
Why?
Good job on flipping off the dude.
Sammy Swindell. That's what I said. I was cracking up when I saw that, and
you seem really happy about it.
And yes,
but you know what? I'm happy that you're happy,
and I'm glad that he is not facing sensitivity training or getting suspended, or all of his sponsors. Well, I think he might be driving his own car or whatever, small team or whatever. They probably wouldn't care anyway. He's not driving for a corporate sponsor. And that's one of the evils about all this corporate sponsors and aesthetic stuff of that. We don't live our lives and like we should. You should not get just because somebody flips you the bird, your whole world doesn't fall the freak apart.
But did someone say he's going to get in trouble, or are you
no,
just kind
that's
of
what I'm saying.
predicting
The
he's going to get in
contrast
trouble?
of Haley Deegan getting in trouble for saying the word retard and having to go through sensitivity training and making a big deal of it, or Kyle Larson getting suspended for using the N-word in the same game and yada yada and all the other.
Yeah, he should have gotten in trouble for that, though.
I mean, yeah, but he shouldn't have got suspended. His sponsor shouldn't have dropped him. It was a dumb thing to say. Everybody slips of the tongue. Big deal. Okay, don't say that again. Watch your language. Yada yada yada.
But see, that's the problem with the world right now, is you can be replaced like that.
Well, you can be like Parler and everybody, or Donald Trump.
They're going to be replaced just like that.
Yeah,
nobody's going to know who you are.
Yeah, the president. They want to silence you. Just poof, you're gone.
But I mean, that's where people need to learn to respect people. People don't have that anymore.
Exactly.
And then now people are throwing a fit when they get replaced. I mean, she shouldn't have done the sensitivity training, and I hope nothing comes of that. I think that would be just stupid, but I'm happy that you're happy about it. We're all freaking happy. Can I flip you off?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not going to do it.
You do all the time, so.
Nobody sees that, though.
Oh, yeah, they have.
Crap, I got caught? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we should be sending you to sensitivity training.
Okay. You're going with me, buddy. I'm way more sensitive than you are. We both need it, but more you than me. Anyways, carry on. Take a shot.
That. My buddy, Dwayne Drollinger, his dad raced. He did his son races. He races midgets too out here in the West Coast. I thought this was great. He says, my new motto is, don't let stupid people under my skin gonna try very hard to achieve this. I think that's apropos with all this stuff going on. And I don't think Brian, his son, is racing at the Chili Bowl this year. But, I mean, we don't all fall apart over that. Yeah, if somebody cuts you off or something at the races, you might go over there and point your finger at them. You might even thump somebody in the head for doing it or whatever. That's just part of the emotion of the deal that goes on. You just got to get over this stuff. I mean, the pendulum has swung too far the other way. We need to pull it back.
Pull it back, people. Did you pull up my Happy Kitten video?
I don't know.
Oh.
I got the one that was, before we get into some of the serious stuff, here's another one. This one is cracked me
You're
up.
going to rock this. Can we do it? Can you do it? Seriously? It'll be perfect for 2021. The new fashion trend for men. What's it called again?
Monkey beard.
I thought it was monkey or money.
I thought it was monkey beard. Monkey trail beard.
Ah.
Monkey tail beard. So it's
Look at that.
It's supposed to resemble a monkey tail, from a mustache halfway around to a beard to a sideburn on one side. That looks about as ridiculous.
Go down a little bit.
That looks about as
Someone, please do this and send us photos.
This looks about.
Look at that one. He even dyed it too.
Oh God.
He got into it.
Yes, that's having a little bit too much.
I love it.
Oh man,
It's awesome. Someone, seriously, Steven, I know you can rock it. Do it and send us photos. Roy, you should do it, seriously.
oh yeah.
Come on. So people will take our
I
show
look
like
stupid enough as it is.
I know, but people
don't
will
need
watch our
any
show
help.
way more. No, I'm just kidding. You could set a fashion trend. You'd be trending.
Oh yes.
We need to be trending some way. So do that and we're good. I'm just kidding. But really that would be cool. No? You're ignoring me. I hate it when you ignore me.
I didn't get to that. We got to the one by Matt Getz at the impeachment hearings. But this is Representative from St. Louis, Cori Bush, in the House of Representatives yesterday during the impeachment hearings. So I'm just going to let this run. If we can, why is Corey? Oh, here we go.
Lewis and I rise in support of the article of impeachment against Donald J. Trump. If we fail to remove a white supremacist president who incited a white supremacist insurrection, it's communities like Missouri's 1st District that suffer the most. The 117th Congress must understand that we have a mandate to legislate in defense of Black lives. The first step in that process is to root out white supremacy, starting with impeaching the white supremacist in chief. Thank you, and I yield back.
So that was a representative of St. Louis in the House of Representatives. And we are going to give you a double dose of this. This is Yvette Clarke of New York in the House of Representatives. I think came up one more speaker after the infamous Cori Bush. Here's Yvette Clarke.
Recognized for 30 seconds.
Madam Speaker, today I rise to...
Oh, now we're going to get the ad. Hang on, it's going to go. Let's get back to that.
I liked her mask, though.
Address 24, the article of impeachment against Donald Trump for high crimes and misdemeanors for a second time. Let us be very clear. What took place on January 6, 2021 was an act of domestic terrorism by right-wing, sycophantic white supremacists promoted, instigated, and advanced by the man in the White House, Donald Trump. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, the ultimate weakness of violence is that it is a descending spiral, begetting the very thing it sets to destroy. Instead of diminishing evil, it multiplies it.
Time has...
So there you go. I see 4 things in common with both speakers.
What is it?
Would you take a guess?
I think it sounds pretty racist.
That's
my opinion.
They are both members of Congress.
I knew that.
They are both women.
Whatever.
They are both, their skin tone is on the darker side, very dark side of brown. And they both accuse President Donald J. Trump of being a white goose-stepping nationalist that, and most of all, is his supporters and voters and everything else. Now, who are the real racists in this country? I'm going to submit to you that it is the Cori Bushes and the Yvette Clarkes and the Antifas and the rioters and the Nancy Pelosi's and the Kamala Harris's, and on and on and on and on and on it goes. Why is it that it seems, look at Nancy pulled the impeachment of this, and I'm being really serious about this. Why is it that it seems like women are leading the charge on this whole racist, this whole, that we're all that Antifa and all the riots were good? that they should, as in Kamala Harris said in August, they're not going to stop before the election. They're not stopping after, nor should they. I mean, it's going on in the House of Representatives like this. And I mean, it's a serious question. Why does it seem to be that our women representatives in our government are leading the charge on this?
I never seen it like that, though. I never noticed it until you said it right now. Do you think that maybe there's just more women that are standing up than men right now?
Standing up for racism and rioting?
I'm just saying. I mean, either way, they're standing up.
I mean, not telling the truth. Donald Trump is not a goose-stealing white Ku Klux Klan member or whatever they're trying to... They have no evidence that he incited anything. They are the ones that have been encouraging all through 2020 when this was all going on throughout our country and we went through it. Why do the leading voices for pushing this seem to be a vast majority of our women representatives in government?
I think they're all just grumpy and pissed off. Apparently.
I just kind of leave the question open because I want to hear other people's thoughts on why they think this is going on. Because that's why I set up the pattern of it yesterday or this week, and that showing you what has been happening in there, and it's a clear cut. I mean, Nancy Pelosi is the highest ranking woman in office. Well, maybe till tomorrow or till next week when Kamala Harris will be the highest ranking probably woman in office in the United States. And they've both been saying this from on down. You can go down to, and we're going down to congressional stuff and anything else. It's absolutely incredulous of doing that. Are we up? Oh, we have a caller. Who's up?
Hey, Roy, it's Dwayne.
Hey, what's up?
All right, so to answer your question as to why you're being led down the rabbit hole by a bunch of rabid kleptocrat socialist women is because what has the Democrat Party said about all of us men for the last 20 years?
I've said it. I've said it, and people have been beating me across the head with it. But there's been a war on for the straight white male for, I don't know, decades.
Toxic masculinity. Yep. And who is leading the charge? The squad. And who compromises the squad? 100% of its makeup is women. Now, I happen to like women. I find women attractive. I do not hold that all women are careless, nutcase, social basket case types as the squad are.
Right.
Most of the women that have been in my life are fairly intelligent and can think for themselves without having to be established with some squad. So this is what you get when you have the little Antifas wearing their sisters' pants.
And you hit on, I want to, because you hit on what I was, exactly what I was trying to bring out, or what my thought was. Where are all the intelligent women that don't believe in this, know that, or standing up? Some of them did in the Congress. One of them, I can't remember her name, from Florida, but she's going to run impeachment deal on Monday or on Wednesday when Joe Biden comes in. But yes,
Georgia.
Yeah, where are the women standing up saying no? They don't represent us, our views, everything else. It's like, not all of them, but it's a very few voices are countering what they are saying, and that's where I see the danger in this.
Two parts to this answer. One, if they can censor completely the President of the United States, you are now living in a totalitarian dictatorship run by a media complex. Number two, why you don't hear sane women is because they're not allowed to have a voice. They are completely censored. And when you look at where this is coming from, which is a completely fabricated, nonsensical demonization of anybody that does not agree with them. Do you notice that they have never once in the past 4 years had a cogent, logical argument against anything Donald Trump ever said or tried to do or accomplished? What they do is they resort to name-calling and badging. They establish that you no longer are relevant because they have badged you as somebody who is a racist.
And I want to pick up on that because here's the deal, and we touched on it earlier. Parler CEO says app may be shut down permanently after getting booted from Amazon Web Services. Yeah, the silence of it. And I want to ask Stephanie. I mean, do you think me and Dwayne are on base, off base, somewhere in between? What do you think? No, as to where are the women counteracting the nutcases that are giving us this stuff?
Well, maybe because it's possible that they're far more intelligent than us men, and that they don't even bother to respond to such nonsense. I mean, but the time has come that we can't do that any longer. We no longer have that luxury. Okay, we are now in the foxhole, ladies and gentlemen, and you don't get to choose whether or not you want to be in the battle because it's to you. So you can decide to sit there and fold your hands and hope for the best, or you can get off your lazy butt and do something.
There you go.
I think a lot of it, too, is just people don't know what to do anymore. I mean...
It could be. I got a lot of stuff to catch on, Dwayne, but thanks for the call in.
Thanks for calling, Dwayne. It's nice to hear someone else's voice.
All right.
Bye.
I mean, seriously. I mean... I mean, like to Dwayne's point, it's exactly what I've been thinking. You might be burnt out on this stuff, but what happens?
People are just burnt out
when, if you throw up your hands and give up.
But I think a lot of people are just getting their energy back, and I think it's going to come back, and they're going to come back stronger. I think they're just kind of letting everyone go crazy and make themselves look stupid. And then they're going to come back, and then they're going to execute it in a professional, mature manner. Right now, nobody's handling any of this as mature adults. They're all throwing a little freaking tantrum. So I think...
I say it's because, you're not allowed to flip somebody off and get
but you can.
Get it settled down right at the end and go on and have fun with it and on away.
But you can. But then with that negative talk of you can't do this, that, and the other, just go out and do it and then see what happens. Right?
Yeah.
That's bad advice. Don't follow my lead.
Well, yeah, no, that's why.
I mean, that's the only way you're going to bring it back. But like Steven had wrote, you can't flip anybody off going down the freeway because, I mean, he didn't put this part, but who knows what'll happen? People will get shot for a hell of a lot less these days. The world's just crazy.
And I have done this, and I've said this, and I want to get to another subject, but yeah, you can. I mean, if you can flip somebody off with a smile on your face of the context of like it was done at the...
Right, I do it to you all the time.
Yes, and... No, people will take it's in the manner it's done, and that's where we're losing it. Everybody wants to jump on everybody for everything, and that is what I'm saying has got to stop. That, and that's why I said nobody. Just like this other stuff, nobody even said anything about Daniel Robinson doing it at the Chili Bowl. It was part of the show, makes for entertainment. Right. That's why you watch this stuff, as you watch Sleepy Trip and many, many others do it at racetracks all over the United States of America of that. And I could say for a fact, I've never, ever, ever done that. Ha, ha, ha. So it happens. The emotions are going. Sometimes you're doing it because, somebody's doing something that that could possibly endanger you or something. So you let them know that you didn't really appreciate that. And you may have a discussion about that afterwards or whatever. And that's just the way of the world. I want to get to this because we talked about the vaccines and how California was a disaster about that. Riverside County vaccination clinics open for newly eligible people, including seniors. This is a story. Is this in the Press Enterprise? New coronavirus vaccination clinics are opening on Thursday. Opening today, Thursday, January 14th in Riverside County that will vaccinate new groups of people for the first time, including those over 65, grocery store workers, and teachers. Walk-up clinics will be open from 8:30 to 9:30 through that, except Martin Luther King Jr. Day. They will be at Diamond Stadium in Lake Elsinore. Of that, and you can call Riverside County Office of Aging 1-800-510-2020 or 211 to get more information. Joe Biden was just on the blower going on about that of his whole economic thing and whatever, but he said in his first 100 days he wants to have 100 million vaccinations of that. So we're planning on rolling out 1 million vaccinations a day for 100 days.
That is exhausting for the healthcare workers.
Yeah. Let me know how that's another thing of Joe Biden when he's got 1 week to put that. So the countdown's going to be on. You're going to get 100 million vaccinations out.
But do you think that many people are going to want it?
I don't know.
I don't think that many
I'm
people
not
are
going
to
be standing in line getting one. I can tell you that.
You're not? No.
Of that. Another thing that again, and it's weird. The whole Tesla thing with Elon Musk, and now he's the richest guy in the world. Even he says, I don't know why my stock's going up. There's not enough electricity to do probably 10% electric cars in the world, much less all this other stuff on that. But Tesla told to recall 158,000 vehicles due to touchscreen failures. Motorists could lose the ability to see and control critical vehicle functions. And Cliff Cummings sent this in. And I wanted to bring it up. The owner of Toyota San Bernardino, Nissan, San Bernardino of Subaru, San Bernardino, and I-10 Toyota. And he said, we at Toyota, we voluntarily, if we know there is a problem, we let everybody know. We do our own recalls, and most responsible car companies do.
Right.
Why is Tesla hiding 158,000 vehicles could lose the ability to see, control critical vehicle functions, and we're not out there fixing it ourselves. We have to be forced to recall our stuff. Elon Musk is a brilliant guy, does a lot of things with SpaceX and all that other stuff, but that's...
He's insane.
That's... If you don't care about people enough, or if that's the case... Or I'd like to hear his explanation on why saying, get these vehicles in. We have a major problem with them. Don't be driving them. We will fix them, pay you, or whatever, or make it right. But to bury it, it appears to be burying it or not wanting to deal with it or making the government move to do that. I think Elon has some very serious questions to be answering on that.
Very serious.
Last one before how close are we?
Yeah,
we're on it. Okay,
we'll pick
this. We'll pick up the pigeon story after we
I got excited about my graphics. Troy's fault.
Yeah.
Just put that on the top page there.
Do you want me to?
All right, guys. 10 seconds.
See? I got it right in time.
Anytime you want.
It's mad.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees.
Guitar music comes on every Monday through Friday at 5:30 on the Memeber 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the AM airway band, joining our vast audience on IE News, Twitch, Facebook, and
on YouTube. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and share us all over your world, and head over to Twitch and hit that purple follow button.
Do you know why I do the and?
Why?
That's kind of a takeoff on Ed McMahon, because he used to be the MC for Johnny Carson on The Tonight Show, and he used to say, "Here's Johnny."
Oh, God. Isn't that like a murder thing? No, they...
Look at that. Turn something positive into a negative.
No. On this movie, I forgot what it's called, The Shining, I think he says that, and then he goes and tries to kill his wife and the 2 children.
Could be. I'm going to take
that's
your
where
word
that
for that
trigger
one
came
on
from.
there. That we discussed a lot of stuff. Daniel Robinson at the Chili Bowl flips off Sammy Swindell out there as riding as they were coming out, and he passed him. And he afterwards asked, "Well, why'd you do?" They thought he was mad or something. He said, "No." He said, "You never passed Sammy Swindell before, and I just probably excited, and I flipped him off." And he got no reprise like Hallie Deegan from Temecula with NASCAR, who said the word retarded and she's going through sensitive training, or all the other stuff that's went on of all that. Let's get back to being normal. Let's not... Just because somebody uses a word or gets upset once in a while or does something, your world does not freaking fall apart. Get over it. Quit. Like I said, is there some edict out there? Is it plastered across the sun or something? We are going to take the fun out of everything.
Because when you can't call people names and flip them off, the world is no longer fun.
Yes! You got it!
Oh, good God. And he's serious, people.
Yes, I am.
I was kidding.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was. Oh, my ear hurts.
Because no, it's crazy on
I get your point, though.
We had the racist Corey Bush and Yvette Clark on that, and we went through all that stuff. But we're going to switch gears here a little bit on the deal, because we've been pushing it and all over the place. I mean, I think they crossed 1 million signatures on. Go to www.recallgavin2020.com, download and sign the petition. We get, 1.5 million good, 2 million to qualify that, and we got about couple months and change left to do it, which should be doable on the way things are going. Gavin Newsom's given us all the artillery to do it. And the Democratic Party started this whole thing on top of that, giving us this whole enchilada on that. They're basically, the Democratic Party chair said earlier this week, Rusty Hicks and a lineup of Democratic elected officials claimed the recall effort was a coup, which is an illegal takeover of the government to remove Newsom by far right-wing extremists, including white supremacists, neo-Nazis. However, they provided no evidence to support these allegations in a KTLA-5 report. And again, a coup is an illegal taking over of the government. And I think it was Hiram Johnson that put it in the California Constitution 100 years ago and gave us the ability to recall elected officials, including the governor of the state of California. So we have Assemblyman Kevin Kiley put on his blog post about this too, about this. We have him on the air right now. So Kevin Kiley, welcome to IE Newswire with Steph Roy.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Did I set that up right or take it away from there?
No, you got it exactly right. I mean, this is, and from the partisan spectrum, really. I mean, the LA Times had just a scathing editorial today calling out the Democrat chair. And frankly, let's be honest, this event would not have happened without Gavin Newsom's blessing. And in fact, his own campaign has been echoing that rhetoric. They've said a recall is a refusal to play by the rules. They've compared it to incitement of domestic terrorists. I mean, you couldn't be more desperate, and you couldn't have a more irresponsible, talking point than we saw on display.
Yeah, I mean, this is not Joe Schmo toting a lunch pail, walking to work or whatever. Some newsman stuck a microphone in his face and he said this, whatever. Okay, this is the state Democratic Party chair, Rusty Hicks. Rusty Hicks knows exactly what the law is. He knows what the Constitution says. We went through recall in 2003 with Ray Davis. I mean, he knows a coup is an illegal takeover of that, and I'm going to say this, if this is not a blatant, outright lie, then tell me what is, because he knows. He's not ignorant to what the facts are of this stuff, and to go out there and try and mislead the people and run the same rhetoric that we've been hearing not only in California but across the nation, trying to stir this country up, trying to stir the state of California up into a frenzy of that to deflect from what we should be doing. What we are doing is we're going to recall that clown that has been subjecting California, and you have successfully, and along with James Gallagher, Assemblyman, has sued Gavin Newsom in court and won over his totalitarian executive orders.
Right. I mean, it's just one of those things. They, the amount of insult that was packed into this one talking point, and it just tells you everything about our state. Seems to think that if you have an election where the people make a decision as to who they want to lead them, somehow that is a coup d'etat. That's not the way it's supposed to work. It shouldn't be up to them, right? One of the talking points was that, this is going to overturn a democratic election. Well, yes, we don't elect people for life in the United States of America, right? The voters have the right to fire someone if they're doing a bad job, and that's what over 1 million Californians have signed petitions to do, and yet the governor and his team, his constituents, to the most vile vigilantes that and such a complete fringe groups, when in fact this is people of all party affiliations who are joining together to push back against what's been a complete abuse of the public trust on the part of this governor.
Oh, and this sums it up good, and this is in the KTLA 5 article. Claremont McKenna College political scientist Jack Pitney said Democrats were trying to put an extremist label on the recall at a time when movement remains largely unknown to the state's 40 million people. I kind of doubt that, but anyway, he noted that the President Richard Nixon once wrote that the best way to fire up your supporters is to rally them against a visible opponent. He said a loyal supporter will fight hard, but you will fight twice as hard against your enemies. They're making enemies out of ordinary, regular American people on a false premise to rile them up to keep themselves in power. I don't know what is more disingenuous than that.
Exactly, and it just shows that the governor is very about the recall because he knows that it's not only his own political future that's on the line, but that this can be a fundamental turning point for the state of California, because Gavin Newsom just so beautifully illustrates everything that's wrong with politics in California today. He just, he's a caricature almost of the corruption that beleaguers our politics. That, if we have a successful popular movement here, this act of popular sovereignty that a recall is designed to facilitate, then I think it's not just going to be a personnel change. It's not just that we have a new governor. It's that we set ourselves on a fundamentally different course where our state starts actually serving the public and serving the public interest, and rooting out corruption and being responsive to the people. And so I think that's why you're seeing such just a outrageous counter reaction on the part of the political establishment, is because they know what's at stake.
One thing longtime former Assemblyman and State Senator Tom McClintock, now in the Congress, said, and I hope something that after the recall, and hopefully I'm almost confident 100%, 98.7% it's going to go, and he probably will be recalled, and we'll do that. And if we do chart on this course and hopefully start straightening California out, one thing, and maybe I'm kind of planting the seed of this, and you could probably talk to McClintock about it too, but he said we should go to a bicameral legislature, which means they only meet 1 year out of every 2, and the other 2 they go home and they're in their districts and they're doing that, and they're not sitting up at Sacramento all the time doing God knows what. And right. I think you're right. I mean, we either fundamentally transform California at this point, or I think California, along with that, depending on which way the nation goes, will, because we're so powerful, we could drag this whole rest of the nation down with us if we start collapsing.
Well, that's right, and or if the rest of the nation adopts some of our bad practices. And I think that your point about the legislature meeting less frequently, I think that the way to ultimately get to that is we just need to have less power concentrated in Sacramento. I mean, this year with Gavin Newsom just essentially instantiating a one-man rule, It's simply accelerated a trend that was long in the making of more and more power getting concentrated at our capital. This year, it's just all been concentrated in the hands of one person. But if we, decentralized power and devolved it down to lower units of government that are closer to the people, then there'd simply be less for the legislature to do, and maybe it wouldn't even need to meet, once every 2 years. Maybe it'd be a part-time thing like a lot of other states are. And if you look at Gavin Newsom, he says California is a nation state. Of course, he said that to puff himself up. But if you look at, actual nations like Spain or Canada that are of comparable size to California, they have a federalist structure where they have autonomous communities, provinces that are, essentially self-governing below the level of a central national government. And so that's part of, I think, the direction we need to move in California is decentralizing more political power so that it's held by the communities and is responsive to those communities, as opposed to essentially a bureaucratic legislature in Sacramento running things.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I take the philosophy that the best government is the government that governs least. They should do the responsible things to keep everything moving, but then get out of the just like this whole COVID thing and everything else. Just get out of our way. Don't put. We don't. Most people are not asking for anything. They just want to have the ability to feed their families, have a job, have a business like they've always done, and have the opportunity as you had in California for 150 years, which we see slipping away.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, and the flip side of that is that during COVID, what we've seen is the government is doing all of the things that we don't need it to do, like shutting down businesses, shutting down schools, but then it's deliver unemployment benefits or ramp up testing capacity, and now the vaccine. And that, by the way, is just an illustration of we have this overreaching government that gets in the way of our lives in all of these ways, but then it can't build roads. It can't do the basics. It can't have a functional DMV. So that's why I think you're seeing this very powerful movement coalesce that could have lasting significance, is because the failures of Gavin Newsom during COVID-19 are just long-term failures of California politics on steroids.
Yeah, I mean, we pointed out yesterday, North and South Dakota are, all the states got proportionally whatever the same vaccine at a 3 times the rate California has. And all they did? They just basically gave it to the healthcare professionals, hospitals that know what they're doing, and said, go out and do this. And like you said, Gavin Newsom has tried to run fairness and this and dictate this, and we've been throwing away vaccines. We got, 2 million doses still on ice, and we're blaming everybody for what's happening.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it's absolutely incredulous of what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, they said, even Dr. Kiley, that, the reason we're going slower is because we're so keen about equity. But I don't see what's equitable. I guess if no one gets it, then that's equitable. No one has it at all. And then he trashes states like South Dakota that have gotten it to a lot greater percentage of their citizens than we have. I mean, it couldn't be more backwards. Yeah,
we are definitely living in a bizarro world. Do you have any update on the case? You and James Gallagher sued Gavin Newsom on the emergency executive orders.
So we're waiting to hear from the Court of Appeal, and we had all of the briefings done. We had our brief. There's been something like 12 different parties that have weighed in as in amicus briefs. So the court has a lot of reading to do, but we're hoping to hear pretty soon them set a date for oral argument. And they actually, from what I understand, they'll have written their opinion before the oral argument. So shortly after that, we should get a decision. And then assuming they reach the merits, that'll be binding across the state on every superior court in all 58 California counties.
That'll be a great day when that happens, along with the day the recall qualifies, and then hopefully Gavin Newsom is voted out of office legally by the Constitution of the state of California, and not by a coup, as who is trying to tell you to do. Kevin Kiley, thanks for being on. We'll do it again real soon.
Thanks, Kevin.
Of course. Thanks for having me. Take care.
You too.
That was Assemblyman Kevin Kiley of the state of California, giving us an update not only on the recall, the Democrats, and the provocateurs. I've said it. I mean, that's why I played the clips of Yvette Clarke of New York and Cori Bush of St. Louis. Who are the real provocateurs? Who are the real ones that are stirring this thing up? I mean, again, I will. And what's his name again? Let me get to the guys into the head of the Democratic Party.
Stephen writes on.
Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
Stephen writes in on Facebook, and I think this was for Kevin, but we got rid of him too quick. He asked if you heard about Gavin giving in to the teachers union today. Caving to the teachers union.
Well, that's a big surprise. I mean, how many millions of dollars did they give him? No, I mean, I get beat on the head a lot of times for pointing out the whole deal of the teachers union. They've given $200 million over the last decade in political contributions, far dwarfing PACs anything else.
Giving in to whatever they want or something.
Yeah, and that's why it's all about the green dollar bills. And again, I mean, I will say, and any teachers, please call in. Please, or come in studio, or we'll Skype you in. Whatever, I want to hear your defense for your unions doing this or what you're doing to counteract, because they're the ones that are holding us hostage, not only in California, but throughout the nation, not wanting to go back to school, not wanting to get the kids back to school, not wanting to teach. We had the racist stuff from Chicago and everywhere else going on. This is what it is. I mean, I don't manufacture this stuff. This is the reality of the situation. Gavin Newsom is bought and paid for by the teachers union. I'm going to tell you, Prop 98 and 111 and 91, both backed by the teachers union and John Garamendi, have systematically, you can count that as the tipping point when California was number one in everything, and it went slowly downhill to the bottom from number one into the 40s, if not 50th, in practically every category, from economics to education to quality of life and everything else. That is the facts, just like that. What is his name that I wanted to get to?
Rusty Wallace?
No, Rusty
That's
Hicks.
like a driver, huh?
Yes. Okay, you know an old-time retired NASCAR driver. I'm impressed.
I've been hanging out with you.
That Rusty Hicks of the Democratic chair said elected officials claim the recalled effort was a coup. A coup is an illegal takeover of the government. Rusty Hicks, unless he can prove he does not know that Hiram Johnson gave us the right to recall public officials, including the governor of the state of California, by a legal meeting today. Go sign the petition, www.recallgavin2020.com. And and then Congressman, listen to it. Our right-wing extremists, including white supremacists and neo-Nazis, however, they provided no evidence to support these allegations. That's what they're calling you. Everyone, the million plus who have signed that petition, that's what the Democratic chair of the state of California is calling you. And labeling you in that group.
Only if you accept it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Stephen writes in on Facebook, is there any chance of the governor not allowing the state to get back to normal if there is a small percentage of residents getting the vaccine?
They're going to be there. As you can see, past history, best indication of future behavior. We've seen what Gavin Newsom's doing. He's been sued in court by the aforementioned guests we had on, Kevin Kiley and James Gallagher, assemblyman up in Sacramento. And what does he do? Sue, appeal, which I guess, is his legal right. But you don't hear, where do you hear Gavin Newsom? She's from California. Or Kamala Harris from California. What's the state say? I don't know if she's resigned her office yet, but she's going to be vice president of the United States. Have you heard Joe Biden? Have you heard them denounce Rusty Hicks, the chairman of the Democratic Party in California, for saying the recall effort going on now is a coup, an illegal attempt, and led by far extremists, including white supremacists and neo-Nazis. Do you hear them condemning Rusty Hicks or removing him from the state chair or forcing him out of office? But they sure had a problem with the president exercising his First Amendment right to free political speech in Washington, D.C.
All right, get to the bird. You're talking in circles.
Well, we started with the bird. We're going to end with the bird.
We never talked about the bird. We haven't gotten to the bird.
We started with the bird.
Yeah.
Oh, ding, 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 ding.
Shut up.
Australia to kill racing pigeon from U.S. that survived 8,000-mile trip across the Pacific. This is on KTLA 5. News of that. Here we go. This is a racing ordinary 8,000-mile Pacific Ocean crossing from the United States to find a new home in Australia. Now authorities consider the bird a quarantine risk and plan to kill it. Kevin Kiley bird, kind of a good deal. The guy said Thursday he discovered the exhausted bird had arrived at his Melbourne backyard December 26th. It disappeared from a race in the U.S. state of Oregon on October 29th. Experts suspect the pigeon that silly bird has named Joe after U.S. President-elect Joe Biden. That's kind of intriguing. Hitched a ride on a cargo ship across the Pacific. Joe's feat has attracted the attention of Australian media, but also of the notoriously strict Australian Quarantine and Inspection Service. Silly bird said the quarantine authorities called on him Thursday to ask him to catch the bird. On top of that, to paraphrase the rest of the story, they're saying, and they do this in Australia. That's part of their deal. They're planning. That's why they want to catch the bird and kill it, because they don't, in case it has any diseases, they don't want them spreading across the wildlife birds in their area. And what was it? Who were the dingbat actors that were that had the dogs that they tried going into Australia, and they said, if you either get them out of Australia in 24 hours or we're going to euthanize them, and they've private jetted them out of the...
Why can't they catch the bird and send it back? Why do they got to kill it?
I don't know.
I know it'd be cheaper just to...
Yeah.
But...
I mean, to me...
he made it that far, and then just to off him? He wants to take a freaking vacation. He should be considered smart for getting the hell out of here.
Well, I won't disagree with that.
That's what pissed me off. See, that's how you get to me. All this other political crap, I'm like zoning out.
The pigeon?
The pigeon? Oh, hell no!
Yes. Roy off with his head. Can I walk him into the guillotine and lock it down and pull the switch?
We're talking about a pigeon. How did you come in the mix?
Well, yeah, but that's what I say. A pigeon? No, don't kill the pigeon.
Exactly. It's messed up. He traveled. A smart freaking bird, man. Get on the ship. He stayed on there the whole time, chilling with his homies.
No, he was by himself.
The crewmates.
Oh.
How did they not
Well, we
see
don't
it?
know. That's a cargo ship. But no, there has been, I think from France.
Smart bird. I would never go out there, though. Have you seen the size of the spiders out there?
I don't know if it could be ocean, but I mean, I think
Screw
it was,
that.
the longest trip was from France, maybe to Australia or something. 7,000 miles of pigeon flight. I don't know if a pigeon can make it across the ocean, because how would it get food going that far? I mean, it would have to be across
It would
land,
have to get sleepy at some point.
I don't think a pigeon could make it going across the ocean from the United States on that. That's why they're suspecting that the pigeon was on a hitched a ride on a cargo ship or something on that. But I thought that was a fun story. I mean, it
got me pumped.
I get the point of Australia, not wanting the USA pigeon, spreading disease or
It's
wiping
a
out their
bird.
Well, it is.
Well, I guess birds do spread a lot of diseases.
I mean, for me, I would not waste the money of private jetting a bird back out of Australia to.
Tomorrow Roy will be doing the show alone. His graphics are gonna suck. No, I'm just kidding.
Then if I am, they will.
No, I mean, I get it. I know it would cost a lot of money, but send me to Australia and I'll go pick up the damn bird, and then I'll come back.
Let me know how that works out for you.
No, this is how I'll get eaten by the spiders. It'd be horrible.
Man, we covered a lot of stuff today.
The pigeon story was my favorite, and the little mustache that you're gonna be rocking. Come on, you and Steven, you're twinning.
Wow.
Said he's gonna do it. You gotta do it. You can't leave him hanging. You can't.
Oh my.
Why not? I think it'll look great. And we'll dye it too.
Oh yeah. Those look absolutely fantastic.
I think it will.
Here we go. We'll be back.